probably September.
I just been spending the day kind of recouping, regrouping type of thing because my body has kind of been like, we're going into shutdown mode. Yeah. And then I keep feeling a bit of my had a little bit of a sore throat, but it was like right in specific spots where my scar tissue is from my tonsillectomy and adenoidectomy. And
Mm.
then I realized I also had my other scar tissues where I got bitten by a dog as a kid and when I had a reduction, were all hurting too. I'm like, okay, that's a weather thing. We've got some rain coming. Um,
Yeah.
but my butt
Okay.
we haven't been so busy. It's been one of those times of self-care day. Lots and lots of sleep.
So everybody
There's
knows
nothing
we're
wrong.
live. We're live. We're live in many groups and on my page. I just want
My
you to
last
know.
bite of watermelon.
Okay.
Everybody take a bit of
Hopefully.
hydration time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was eating some watermelon because it's just so hot.
Mm. Yeah. Feels like the planet's heating up. I'm grateful for where I live.
Oh, I love it. It's just 3, 4 months out of the year. It's just a little brutal.
Mm. All right. So hopefully, I don't know if some more folks, a couple people that said they were coming. I don't see them here yet. So maybe we should give them a minute.
See, I need to find a way to turn.
I unmuted on accident. Hi, y'all.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Mary. Welcome. Welcome, Mary. Welcome, Lacey. Welcome, Gina.
Hey, Lacey. Hey, Gina.
I'm glad you're all here. Welcome. I don't know who else will come. Oh, look, Angie Glass is here. Welcome, Angie. We're glad you're here. Yeah, it's good to see everybody. Oh my goodness. So we're broadcasting live right now in a bunch of groups. So just so you know, just so people know, it's not like, surprise when you see yourself in your own group. It's probably a group that you're in. Um and it's also broadcasting on my page. So some of the people might pop in because of that. Okay.
Okay.
So first, I think first things first is maybe we just start to set the stage and set an intention. Because I feel like some people showed up on time and they should be rewarded. Um, so that would be like, first of all, let's set up an intention that, that today we're trying to honor Pride. So it doesn't mean that the person that passed has to be gay or whatever. It's more like you could be GLBTQ or they could have been GLBTQ. Maybe they were an ally. Maybe they were a really good ally. Allies count in my book, because without them, um, we wouldn't be whatever. And so I would say that for me, I have many drag queen spirit guides. I have probably about
I
4 or
love
5 of them.
I
And
want
they,
to
well, I'm a drag
like
king, so uh so they kind of
that
like
would
that.
be awesome.
Yeah, I have lots of drag queen spirit guides. Some of them
Oh,
are in my drag family. Some of them I've picked up along the way by performing in a variety of places across the country. And then what ends up happening is they're like, "Hey, I want to hang out with you." Um, and they are also connected. So sometimes spirits are connected to you because of what you're connected to in real life. So that could be things like the LGBTQ community, absolutely. It could also be other things that you're passionate about, art or magic or witchcraft or anything else that's a little bit spiritual or even just pulls on your passions, pulls on your heartstrings. that your heart is engaged in, then you may find that there's other people, there's other spirits that are sort of called to you or attracted to you because of your connection through those things. Somebody once told me a name for that, and I can't remember what the name was. But anyway, so whatever you might have as far as
Oh, where you pick up
connections.
geomancy, where you pick up spirits along the way, like where places, from places?
No. When you're connected to the same passion.
Oh, I studied that
Mhm.
too. It's
It
a
has
whole,
a name for it, but I
yeah,
don't remember
it's
the
a
name
whole
of it.
thing.
And it's like a whole category of guides, and I have a lot of those guides, probably because I've divorced my family. Well, they divorced me and I divorced them. So, it's a mutual agreement. And so it's not quite piggybacking, Kayla, because the spirits that are connected to me because I'm a drag king and because I'm queer and because I'm LGBTQ, right? So because of that and the work that I do in the LGBTQ community, about teaching about that being trans is sacred, being gender variant is sacred. Yeah, resonating spirits is exactly what they
Yeah.
are, Mary. And so they kind of resonate with you because of whatever. And it doesn't just have to be queer community, it could be other things, is what I'm
Right.
saying.
I have
So
that.
yeah, so almost all of us have some. And they could come through by the work you do in the world. Like I know someone that's really into doing herbal medicines, and so she feels like she has guides that come to her that are like sort of related to that. Okay. So so I feel that I plan to call upon my guides, especially the gay one, and especially the GLBTQ ones, which is about 3/4 of them. I think there's only 2 straight ones. That was my dad and my mom, my stand-in mom. So everybody else I think is queer, mostly. So or they were passionate, they were an activist. Then I have a couple activists. So so I hope to pull through with my guides. So I'm going to say a little prayer to my guides. Please be polite to each other. Please understand that we'll do our best to give everybody a reading or to see what comes through. It's mostly spirit led, I think, for all 3 of us. Did you have
Yes.
any plans outside of that, Eve, Jamie?
I might use my cards as well if I feel led to.
If that, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll use my pride deck.
And I just use my pen. So if you see
What's
me
that?
holding up, I use a pendulum for confirmation. So if you see me holding up that's what it is. It's just, I use it for confirmation.
Sure.
So
Good. Okay.
people know what I'm doing.
What is she doing?
Yeah. What? What?
Yeah.
And I burn sage when it's an open space. It's
Okay.
just what I do.
Yeah, please burn it. Burn it all you want. I usually burn Palo Santo. If
There
you
you go.
ever feel like spirits that are around you make you uncomfortable for some reason, although I will always say no spirit will actually hurt you. That is a belief system that's silly and sensationalized by Hollywood. And that's not really true, and most mediums don't believe in that. Some do. But most mediums are kind of like, most spirits aren't really out to hurt you. Most of them just want to communicate with you. They might have their own agenda, but by being here, you won't be jumped, or there won't be any spirits that will get on your back that you'll have to have removed later. So don't listen to the scammers that text you, okay? It's the oldest scam in the book. You've been jumped by a spirit and they have to get it off you, okay? I think that might be the oldest scam in the book.
And the most
Been around for a long time.
ridiculous ever.
Yeah,
But
it's silly. It's silly. Okay.
Horrible.
So, and people always want to challenge me on the, oh, Hollis, there are evil spirits, and all I have to say is, okay, so do you believe in evil souls being born? Do you think when babies come out of a mama's vajayjay that they are evil? Who believes that?
Yeah.
Evil people are made, not born. Therefore, evil
Exactly.
evil spirits can't exist. Okay. It just doesn't happen.
True.
If someone does something really bad in this world and then they pass, they're just they just have, hi Stacy, welcome. Welcome Glenda and Bernice. Glad to have you.
Hi.
So I
Hi, Bernice.
just kind of like setting up a foundation for everybody. Let me turn off that noise that we have. Is any of the other mediums have anything that needs to be addressed, just to like help people know, like, no, you're not going to be possessed or anything weird like that? It doesn't happen. Spirits have to have your permission to enter your body.
And you just don't allow that.
Yeah, and they just and so you just don't welcome them in. And you have to specifically say yes. And then you also and they don't have ill intent. That's not their intent. They might have a different agenda than you do, but it's not ill usually. I've never actually met one that has ill intent, even though I've done plenty of house clearings and plenty of exorcism, and I have 30 years experience. When I was first a young medium, I used to believe in evil spirits. And then I felt pretty dumb about it after I did exorcism for about 3 years. And I was like, well, wait a minute, none of these spirits are evil. She's like, yeah, I know. She's like, they're not evil. That would mean that you'd have to believe in evil babies.
Right.
Okay. So once you make that connection back around, you start to realize how silly that is. Okay. So that's a belief system that was inserted by the Christian right. Okay. So when in actuality, we're all here to connect with spirits that are at our sides. They are at your side all the time. It's not bad to have a spirit at your side. It's actually necessary and happens to everybody. Does anybody else have anything else that they need to know about the space here and now? Eve or Cheryl?
Sometimes I also use a singing bowl to clear, so I'm not sure if I will be doing that or not because I didn't think to ask Crystal about bringing it in yet, but
it's okay. It's cool. I'm not even sure we'll be able to hear it, Jamie. Maybe. Okay.
Do you prefer Jamie? Because I don't want to. Which do you prefer?
I'm kind of in that transitional stage, so I've kind of been doing the Jamie Eve thing at this moment. So
the fact that I keep going back and forth probably doesn't matter.
I just thank you.
Great. So I'm just going to take a moment to speak out to my ancestors in the here and now. I call upon all of my spirit guides, all of the drag queens that are behind me, all of the queers, all of the GLBTQ community ancestors that stand at my side during activist moments. This is the moment. This is your moment to come through and to help me bring spirits from the other side. Help me to communicate. Help me to understand what might need to be said. And if you have special messages to come through, now is the moment. I'd be happy to channel those for you in this here and now, in this special event. Happy Pride. This is Pride. We are in 2024. And so, spirits, we welcome you in the here and now. We welcome all GLBTQ spirits, even the lost souls, souls with no connections to family, souls that are lost, souls that were murdered, souls that were killed or committed suicide, or anything else that may have taken your life. It doesn't matter. We welcome you all. Please step forward in this here and now, and to my guides, help me to interpret those messages to the clearest to my ability. So mote it be. Okay. So is anyone else here Do Jamie, Eve, or Cheryl have anything you need to speak before you begin?
I've usually been doing my ground center banish and shield tree meditation to start things. With that,
Is this something you can share quickly?
yes.
Okay, go for it.
Basically, when we start this, we place our feet on the floor and think of ourselves like a tree and our feet, the roots going down into the earth. And just as the roots suck up the nutrients and water and travel it through the tree, we allow that energy to arise up through our feet and our legs, up through the thighs and the hips, up through our central part of us, our torso or trunk, and on up into our head and our arm branches. I like to let my branches sway a little bit because the weeping willow and the palm tree are two of the strongest trees, two trees that sway with the wind. And because of that, they don't break like other trees that just stand stiff. And then once that energy arises into the fingertips, we take and turn it into an energy ball, which we place then in our middles, our center, and allow that to be a replenishing fountain of energy for us as we go through our process. Whenever we need to tap back into that peaceful, calm space in our gut, when when things start to stress us, tap back into that and let that replenishing fountain center us again. And then I take my hands and raise them up, palms facing outward. I envision all the negative things in life, anything that's an obstacle or stressor, as like they're children's building blocks. And I inhale positive, exhale negative as I bring my hands down and knock those blocks down. And once I've got them knocked down, I usually do, for good measure, a little blow out and sweep off all the excess like you would when you blow off, erase things. And then I take the palms upward and I pre-breathe because I want the positive to be the first thing. So I breathe in first and then I do 3 complete breaths as I raise a bioluminescent shield around that forms a bubble around me. With the negative, in with the positive, out with the negative, in with the positive, out with the negative, in with the positive. And I bring it down, let it define the space. In this space, in this bubble, anything negative is reflected back, returned to sender. Anything positive is fed into this shield to protect us and to nurture us. It's in this space that I then welcome guides and spirits who wish to communicate with us to join us in that space. It's a safe space where nothing can harm us.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. Cheryl, did you want to share anything?
That was absolutely beautiful. What can you share?
She's like, no, Jamie did it. I have nothing else to say. All right.
I'm in this space, man. Like seriously, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you. No, I'm ready to go. I've had a person here since we started.
Do you?
So,
I have
yeah.
one too, but go ahead. I can wait. Mine's a guide though, but I'm not sure what they want to say. So
I don't know who this person is, but they're like 35 and they're celebrating. They have a huge layered cake in rainbow colors with a big thick white icing in between. And they're celebrating something because they're slicing it. Like, and very flamboyant, having a ball. This is somebody who wore feathered boas, like totally celebrated pride, like extremely over the top, loved it, celebrated all month long, went to all the parades, did everything. And they're cutting this cake, and the message is to celebrate the sweet slice of life. And it's a huge rainbow colored, and they're connected to someone here. I almost think they're connected to Hollis. I seriously think they're connected to Hollis.
I think you might be right. I think you might be right, Cheryl. I think who you're channeling is the same person I'm channeling, which is
Oh, okay.
hilarious because I'm like, okay, Bree McPhee, I don't know why you want to come through right now, but she wants to come through. And the hilarious part is if you know my history, you know that I used to be an adult performer.
That's
And
awesome.
I used to wear boas. And so I had
Oh.
all these costumes that I didn't do anymore once I decided I was
Oh,
trans, because
yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't think I should be doing that. The reason I was doing that is because it was easy to pretend I was a woman, because I was pretending I was a woman. Okay.
Right.
And so then I had all these like adult clothes, okay, like boas and rainbow and oh
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Over
was the biggest fag hag you ever met, okay? And then I came out and I had my spiritual awakening in my 30s, and I became a drag king. And during that time, I had all these costumes, and this drag queen came over. I don't know why she's having me tell this story. She comes over to my house. Her name is Bree McPhee. I'm having a big house sale. I'm selling all my stuff. And she buys all of my boas and my entire box of adult clothing.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then a week later, I find out she's competing against me in an event in Central PA that Jamie Eve might know about.
Boy, balls. I mean, like, audacity. Yeah, because very just, I don't give a shit. Like,
no, but it was fine because it was all in good. It was all in good. I'm not sure why Bree, what Bree, I don't know.
Just to totally celebrate the sweet slice of life.
Jamie Eve, do you know about State Street competition? I'm the first you're muted. I'm the first drag king that ever won State Street. But that's
awesome.
But I don't recall the details of that particular one.
Okay, well, I think it's still alive. Johnny Wonders is the one that founded it. Okay. And this is all in Central PA where my drag family is, which is how I know Jamie Eve. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so Bree McPhee, okay, I get what she wants to say. So Bree McPhee lived in life as a man, and presented as a man when he went to work. But then when she would come home at the end of the day, she would become a woman, and she did that every time she would go into drag. And she would put all of these clothes on, and she said by wearing the clothes that she got from me as an adult entertainer, the old stuff that I wore made her feel more like a woman. And she literally did that song. It makes me feel like a woman, right? After that country song. Okay. But she did it in lingerie. Okay. But she was hilarious. She was very X-rated, but she was funny and a lot of fun. Unfortunately, her kink also killed her. Okay. And so it's okay. We all missed her. We all
I
mourned
wonder
her.
what her message was. Like, seriously, because I've had a lot recently who have been, the messages have been very profound the last, I've had like a whole series of very profound. So I wonder, because
Well, I think she's actually bringing in a style of person right now. So that's what she's saying. She's saying, I'm bringing them in. So,
okay.
And the reason she's bringing them in, they're piggybacking on hers because she's strong, especially
Right.
as my guide. She is my guide. I knew her
Oh,
personally. We had a very strong connection. She came out to me as trans, and she didn't know what to do and how to, she worked in technology at an office where everybody assumed she was a man. Wow. And then she lived this sort of double life, and she hated it but loved it. And she was in love with a trans man. Okay. So and the two of them were very close together, and I competed against her not necessarily her, because it was drag kings against kings and queens
Right.
against queens. But she said to me secretly behind the stage, I secretly wish you win, even though I was competing against her spouse so that she could be my queen. That's not what happened. She didn't win, but she understands why. Okay. So, she's bringing through other people that have lived that
Yeah,
way,
there's a crowd coming through.
that double life. Okay. Person that has to live specifically as a man at work and has that effeminate side afterwards, like at the end of the day. So
Quite a
if you
few
know,
like that.
yeah, if you know someone like that,
Yeah, I think quite a few like that.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we're bringing through the same spirit, because I love cake.
Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
I love cake. Okay, Mary Collins, do you have someone in your circle that was like that?
I do.
Okay.
Where is she?
This person struggled with shame too about it. So it always makes me upset when they have to struggle with the shame. It like hits me right in my gut somewhere. Maybe because I
Yeah, they
struggled
were
with
they
it,
were
so.
semi closeted. Yeah.
Where they couldn't tell everybody. Maybe some privileged people knew, but yeah. And feeling like what they were doing was like naughty or bad, like almost kinky, like.
Yeah, it was related. It came out more
Sexually.
in a sexual type of energy. So yeah.
And that would be Bree McPhee bringing that through. Okay. It's a little bit more of a sexual energy, and this person next to Bree is very much a queen as well. Bree used to call herself a real life queen, and that was because she did not look like the drag queens we see on TV. She looked like
She's really
a person
beautiful.
in a person in a male body with a dress on.
Oh.
Non-passing. Okay. But she used to call herself a real life queen.
Oh, I have friends
she's-
like that who have full beards. Like I have friends like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, that look like
Yeah.
they're in a man's body that are wearing a dress.
Yeah, exactly. I have friends like that.
And they're beautiful. They're expressing
Absolutely.
in their heart.
Yes,
And
they
is this person matched with you, Mary?
Oh, is this a different one? Okay.
No, I'm
Um,
asking you if this spirit
so
matches with the person
this
that
does
passed for
match.
you.
This does match.
Okay.
Except for the thing is so I only knew this person as a male. They never really came out as anything officially. But I do know that after he would get off work, there was for many years, and he did tell me about that, and he would send me pictures of his clothes. And his brother still has them all. His family was going to throw them out, and his brother kept them. Chris, the real out there one that we did the astrological reading for, he has all his clothes.
I don't really remember that well, but I think I did. Okay.
Yeah.
But did the pictures look like a guy wearing a dress?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was an attractive guy, but yeah, it looked like a guy wearing a dress.
Right. Not passable. That we call
Right.
when
That's
they look. Yeah, it's okay. It's just a style.
I don't know why I'm telling this, but I think some of these people are coming through. I worked on a cruise ship in Hawaii in the late 80s, early 90s. And at the time, it was the only legal place in the US that gays and lesbians could marry. Like it was the only place. And I'd moved there from San Francisco. So I'd been a little familiar. I'm an ally. I'd been a little familiar in San Francisco, but had no clue about Hawaii. And I moved onto a ship, and there was probably about 3 or 4 people who were they were cocktail waitresses and waiters and stuff. And then as soon as they got off work, they would change their outfits. And they were men who didn't really pass, but we didn't really care. They were the most beautiful soul, like just pure. I love that they could be themselves there. because we would just travel island to island, and there were like gay bars and stuff, and I would go because I felt safe there. You didn't have to worry about if you told them that you were straight, they left you alone. But you could dance all night and have fun and enjoy the night, and nobody messed with you. It wasn't like going to a straight club where you were always on guard and people messing with you and stuff. I loved it.
Gay clubs
Absolutely
tend to
loved
be
it.
that way. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Hawaii is actually well known. The energies there for trans people and gender bending, gender variant people are very high. When I was in Hawaii, I was a little anxious because people kept referring to me as a she. Then I learned that the Hawaiian name for a transgender person is mahu. And I
Mhm.
simply said to the fisherman who was selling me fish, call me a mahu. And he was like, oh, you're mahu. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then he just for then forever on called me Hollis or Mahu. Mahu is hoping to get some fish today because I was chefing all the time. So that's Mahu. Okay. And so Hawaii tends to have, if you go to Hawaii, you'll notice a lot of gender variant people. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just starting then, but it was absolutely beautiful. It was I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The energy
So
was great.
it feels like we're starting with transgender, gender variant people.
Mhm. There's so
If
many
anyone
that's a
has
kid.
anything else, go ahead. I'm pretty sure I had Mary's Mary's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Derek. Yeah.
Okay.
There's quite a group coming through. They're just celebrating just for the freedom and independence to be themselves. And there are some connected with people here that, like you said, you didn't know, you saw pictures and stuff. And that's how I feel. Some of these people never completely revealed themselves. And now
So
they're
we're
free to.
closeted.
So that,
Okay.
yeah, very, very close. Quite a few. I felt about 3 or 4 of them are here that were, and they're just, they're being free to celebrate. And that's the big message I'm getting tonight is just to celebrate the sweet slice of life. Like the very first message, like that big piece of cake, that rainbow cake. It's okay to celebrate no matter how you are, no matter what the differences are, no matter what, you can celebrate life. There's
Have a
always
gender
something that you can.
I'm
Okay.
picking on someone I feel like that what I'm seeing of them seems to be more like a late teen to young adult age bracket. I believe they would have been assigned male at birth, but very femme in their presentation.
So if stuff starts to match, raise your hand so that we know that someone in the room is listening.
I'm not sure if they were out to their parents or not. But
Yve, do you have any other information?
I get the sense that they were relatively new at trying to come out to people and not necessarily out to everyone. But it was one of those things where like they may have felt somewhat of, shamed by some people into the point of possibly almost going back in, but they kept enough flamboyance that you could tell that they still had the heart for where they felt they aligned, but not but they might have tried to tame down a little bit.
Sometimes the person could be watching, so just hold on to them for a minute, Yve. See if you get any other information, or sometimes I find that the person will pop in 5 minutes later. They're watching it live. That's happened to me a couple times. So hold on to it, okay?
Name Carrie or Gary, something that I'm hearing it as Carrie. I'm not sure if that is
That might be their female
their,
name, huh?
their given name or their chosen name type of thing. Could be hearing it incorrectly. It could be Gary or something similar, but it had that hard sound, like that I interpret as Carrie. In the
about how old?
I would gauge it probably in that 16 to 24 age bracket. Looking relatively young and that like they could even be younger than 16, but I just the vibe I get is, right around that 16 to 18 zone is what I'm thinking.
Younger, really young.
Do you know how they passed, Jamie?
I get the impression that they may have ended up choosing their own exit because of all the stresses they were encountering at the time.
Mhm.
I particularly seem to feel like school was brutal for them.
Bye, Stacy. Stacy says I have to go. Thanks, Stacy.
Bye, Stacy.
Okay.
I've been seeing when they were describing the person that came through, I was seeing, sorry, that's why I asked the age. I've been seeing someone who's 13 to 14, born a male, very in touch with the female side, painted their nails and stuff, but like you were saying, very secretive and stuff. From a very rich family in a tropical area, either California, Florida, because there's like palm trees, really nice house right by the water. Like they have quite a bit of money. Private schools, the whole bit. They couldn't really conform to expectations and stuff. Like they wanted to branch out on their own and weren't free to do so. They were trying to fit the norm. And very young, 13 to 14. And I also feel they took their own life. And something with the throat, I really don't like to say.
Is there a young person? Does anyone know a young person that took their own life that happened to be that might have been queer? Maybe you don't know.
Yeah, the only clue I can honestly see is the fingernails, black fingernails. Eyeliner, maybe some eyeliner, and really like to do the hair. Like the hair was very expressive, and some of the clothing was very expressive. Like very meticulous about the clothing, extremely meticulous about the clothing. So I'm getting this was actually a while ago. I'd say the time period was this person didn't pass recently. It was 2000s, 2010s. So it's somebody, I don't know if it's anybody right here, if it's somebody on the broadcast, but just know they're free to be themselves now.
Hey, Kathleen, I was just thinking about, wasn't there a young person that took their life that was LGBTQ in Rites of Spring community? Do you know who that was? Okay, Kathleen's. Oh, she might have walked away from her computer or something.
Maybe because I was drawn to them earlier too, so there might be a connection.
Well, Kathleen's a medium. Kathleen's
Okay.
also part of the witch, also part of the Massachusetts witches community.
Okay, well that's probably why I was drawn.
Okay.
But yeah, but just so that you know, they're free now. They're able to live their truth. They're very comfortable. And they're no longer stifled. I get that their voice was stifled. They tried to conform and stuff.
Kathleen, do you remember someone that was part of the Rites of Spring community that was young in their teenage years that killed themselves maybe about 3 or 4 years ago? They took their own life, sorry. They took their own life. And they were definitely non-binary or something. I think they went by they them pronoun.
Yeah.
them pronouns. And yeah, I didn't know them well either. I have a fishy feeling it's them. Okay.
Okay.
I can't remember their name. When my spouse comes back
But
in, I'll try to ask her.
sometimes it's their stories that matter and their energies and stuff that they're bringing forward. So there might be somebody else or a young person that you know that's very similar. So that's what they're trying to convey. I've learned that a lot. There's always a message or someone out there that they're trying to reach.
I just
Mhm.
saw a flash of a guitar, so I don't know if the person that if it's
Musically inclined.
yeah, but I don't know if it's still connected to the same person or if that's someone
Yeah.
else. But
No,
image of
that's
a guitar.
Oh,
right.
did
It's
someone
just
just pass in rights, Kathleen? A young person? A queer young person?
by their throat.
Rights of Spring is a community that me and Kathleen are both connected to. So it's a
Oh,
witches. Oh, it just happened.
just
Yeah, could
very
be.
possible.
It's a witch community in Massachusetts. Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Well, just because
It's a
there's a
very, very large community. So
it could be just there's a pride event, so they decided to show up.
It's possible that the first person was a
Uh,
previous
Marion,
one and then a more recent one connected to the same huddle.
yeah, they could all be together. Yep. Okay. Okay. I'm sure they're connected to somebody.
yeah. But sometimes I've learned too, it's not always the exact details. Just take the lesson and the energy and just keep going forward. And
Yep.
just honor that soul that came through because they're connected in somehow, some way, or their message deserves to be heard. It connects somehow, some way, or it will in the
Gina,
coming week. Might come across somebody.
Gina, are you raising your hand? Or are you telling Mary to raise her? Mary said that the person's still alive. The next person that I've had kind of on hold for a minute, this person actually feels like he was married to or with in a committed relationship with a woman, but somehow maybe you may have found out, or somehow this person was like a crossdresser or bisexual or what I would call closeted queer. Okay. But those are the labels that humans use. Bisexual, crossdresser. He also took his own life. And you may not have known about his gender variance until maybe you went through some of his stuff or something. Feels like it was a super secret, or you kind of knew, or you were suspicious. So I'm just gonna say whoever that is that's tuning in right now. I don't think he intentionally meant to. It's what I call on the down low. Does anyone know what that means? It's a term from the 90s. On the down low.
Private, just kept a secret and private to themselves, and didn't mean any harm or anything by any of it.
Yeah, but he ended up hurting the women. He ended up hurting the women, the woman that he was with. Okay. So is that woman here?
He discovered it, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe the person's not here. Okay.
It's okay. Thank you.
I'm laughing because the moon is void. Do you guys know what that is?
No, what is it's nothing.
When
Is
the
it
void,
between?
when the moon is void of course, things tend to be less powerful, less dramatic. It's a great day to do shit like submit your taxes, confront somebody about that problem, if you want things to be less dramatic. Yeah, it's not really great for readings though.
Yeah, is that why it's kind of like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mary,
earlier today I actually was working in the void, which is kind of funny because actually, yeah, I was
Working is
doing work
fine.
in the,
Working is fine. But what
yeah,
you're putting out there, it's what you're putting out there.
yeah,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Jamie. Did you have something?
so what Mary said, there's another person I was seeing after I had seen the guitar and stuff. I saw a second person, and perhaps that is the person that you're um referring to. Would they be someone that we would classify as BIPOC, Black or Hispanic?
So what you may be getting, that person that's alive, that I mean, you
Mhm.
described even to a T, was born a man named Jerry, not Gary, but you were close, was the given name. But his father, it's she now, her father is in spirit
Mhm.
for a long time now.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
is she available?
Oh,
Is she available to you, Mary?
I have not spoken to her in a really long time. I was with her in like high school, and she came out many years later. So I haven't spoken to her in a really long time. Her name is Mira now. Um, but I don't really think I can, what I can do is see if I can hunt her down to at least give her
Maybe on
Jamie's
Facebook?
information. Yeah, because
Maybe.
yeah, I don't think she's on my Facebook anymore. I can check. Um, but I haven't spoken to her in a long time, but our families used to be really close. And yeah, her father died many years ago.
wow.
I wonder
Very,
if
very
her
close.
father's coming through to you, Jamie, and describing the recipients of the message. And maybe Mary could deliver that message for you.
Any chance that her father had departed by his own choosing?
In a sense, not with intent, but was a very functional alcoholic that died from liver failure.
Mm.
Yes, in a sense.
Yeah. That counts in my world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I had two. There are two that came, and the one, was more prominent, and the second one that when after I saw the guitar, was might be the one that you're talking about.
So
Sometimes
the
it's
guitar is also for Mira. Mira is a guitarist in a metal band, always has been, always played metal since we were kids.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, huge validation.
but the message that I'm feel to be getting is to hang on and hold tight, and that they're loved. And I don't know what their situation is right now, but it may be that they need that message that they are still loved and that they are not alone.
And maybe that
I
dad
believe,
loves them even though that they're trans.
yeah, because she was very young, so very, very young, and this hadn't the transition hadn't happened yet. But I believe my sister is still in contact with her sister. They're very close friends, so I can find a way to make sure she gets that message.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Pretty sure I have a gay man here. I feel like his friend is here. It's a pretty close friend. He's a gay man. He's a bit older, not ancient or anything, but that's what he said. I'm not ancient or I wasn't ancient or anything. But he's older, gay man. Feels like he died with something in the heart, or at least his heart was hurting, his chest was hurting when he passed. So it could sometimes be like lungs make your heart hurt and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oxygen depletion and things like that can make your heart hurt. Okay. Some people don't really understand human anatomy, and I understand it more than others. And then people are like, "Oh, that could happen." I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." Strokes can make your heart hurt. So okay, let's see what else we get from him. He's kind of I wouldn't call him super flamboyant, but he's flamboyant enough. Mm-hmm. His friend is here. Okay. Well, he seems pretty happy. He's making gay jokes. Okay. So I feel like he was a joker, especially about uncomfortable topics. And he would have been in a generation that it was uncomfortable to be a gay guy. Okay. So it's all right. No one's connecting, no one's taking interest in that spirit. See if they have anything they need to say.
It sounds like Bobby. It sounds like my best friend when I worked on the cruise ship. Like we were inseparable. Everybody thought that we were not. Like
he was a
and
funny
taught
guy.
me, yeah, extremely funny. Blonde hair, heavy set, like late 30s. And he was actually, they actually came to Hawaii to get married and stuff. And it was one of the first couples I knew. Like and they made fun of, like they would make out in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. He goes, why? Then don't make out in front of us. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you have a point. Okay, I don't care, whatever. So yeah, and he would make fun all the time, like all the time. And I was young. We were like, I was in my 20s and he was late in 30s, and he'd been married before. He'd been married, had kids, and then fell in love with this guy and got divorced, and they got married, went to Hawaii and got married. But I was always trying to look for my love because, young 20s on a cruise ship. I was a bartender. I was living the great life. But I'd break up with these guys, and he goes, don't worry, you're going to find the love of your life. You're a breeder. He goes, you're going to end up with like 8 kids. Guess what happened? I ended up with 8 kids. I ended up with 8 kids, but they weren't all mine. Like I had 3 that were mine, 2 that were my husband's. We adopted 3. Like, yeah, it was really crazy.
Well,
But
Kim
we were
Gaber
very
is also
close.
saying that this. So Kim, can you like unmute so we can talk to you?
Where are you? Yes.
Isn't it?
But that
She's
does
got her
sound just
camera
like
turned off. Yeah. Hey Kim, can you turn off your camera? Turn
there's like
on your
a whole
camera.
crowd here celebrating, like people that are connected to people and other people that are like in broadcast and stuff.
Well, yeah, we just called them all in.
Yeah, you seriously like waved the flag and they all just came a flying.
All right. Okay. Hi, Kim. I'm glad you're
Where?
here. It's so
Hi,
much
Kim.
easier to read. It's so much easier when you're on camera. Can you turn your
Oh, I love her energy.
you unmute yourself so we can hear you?
Oh, whoa.
We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Kim. Are you talking to us?
Sometimes you can send a request to unmute.
There we go. There we
There
go.
you go.
Hi, Kim.
Speak.
Oh, looks like she's connecting to audio.
It's connecting. There it says.
There you go.
Oh.
Can you unmute yourself? There we go. Hi, Kim. Can we hear you? We still can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Do you have Bluetooth speakers connected? We can't hear you.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Maybe she can figure it out. I'm surprised that she can hear me. So, see you, Barry. Thanks for coming.
Hi, Mary. Thank you. Bye, sweetheart.
Kim.
Oh, she's got headphones on there. Maybe she can hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Kim, if you can hear me, unconnect and reconnect your microphone or your speakers, or turn off your headphones, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes technology throws in the things.
It's been doing
Okay.
that to me all day.
Mm-hmm.
And she said her best friend, that could be her best friend.
Right. That's okay. We'll give Kim a minute to
fine.
figure out her sound.
I'll get it.
Gina, I'm called to you. I feel like there's a spirit around you that's trying to communicate with me. They feel queer. They don't feel I almost wondered if they were if they were like lesbian or something, because they almost feel like but they feel distracted because somebody's calling my phone. They feel like they're non-binary. Well, that's what they would have ended in, but I'm not sure they were completely out as that. I think that they kind of felt that way. Maybe that's just their vibration. Do you know a person that was gender variant of some sort? Are you bisexual, Gina? Because they're telling me that you're bisexual. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure this person was out of the closet. This person feels related to you. In fact,
Like somebody you
this
grew up with.
this person was much older than you. In fact, I would almost guess this is like, this is an ancestor, goes back a couple of generations, maybe not even a couple, like maybe a grandmother. Is your grandmother alive? Can you unmute yourself?
No, my grandmother's not alive. None of them are.
Feels to me like this is a grandparent of yours, and this grandparent, I believe that she was born in a female body, but that she sometimes was what we would call today as butch. Um, she just was but back then we wouldn't call it butch. We would just say, oh, she likes to wear pants. Do you get what I'm
Okay.
talking about? Okay. I'm not sure she was out. And I'm pretty sure that she may have even been married, but I'm not sure it was a really healthy marriage. Like, it feels very distant. And she may have even gotten a divorce. Do you know who this is?
No.
None of your grandparents, all of your grandparents had healthy relationships, and all of them were
As
incredibly
far as I
effeminate.
know.
It's an ancestor of yours.
Aunt,
Okay.
an
Yeah.
aunt, perhaps. Like a great aunt.
Maybe a great aunt that I kind of called the grandmother.
Okay, so you seen her as your grandmother.
Yeah, because when I was little, I didn't have a grandmother on my mom's side. So I asked her to be my grandmother. But she never got married.
And was she kind of on the rather butch side?
She's very independent, very, I guess you would call that a little more masculine for the times.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, not big on wearing dresses, more like pants, um, might even be caught with their legs spread apart, things like sitting with their legs spread, things like that, like not crossing their legs like a proper lady. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
She's actually saying if she was alive today and she was young, she would be non-binary.
Okay, that would make sense.
That would make sense. Okay.
Did that
I'm pretty
person
sure
like
she's your
Yeah.
ancestor because she's saying that you're bisexual and she knows that about you. She knows that you're queer.
Okay. Okay.
So
I didn't know the name.
Well, our spirits on the other side.
Of course they know. They're
Of course
backing
they.
it
Yeah.
freely.
I seem to see somebody
He used to
driving.
tell me to
Did you by
be
chance-
whoever I wanted to be.
She did what? She
What
told
was
you
that?
you could be whoever you wanted to be.
Yeah.
What was
That
that,
sounds
Jamie?
like her.
Did she by chance work in a field where she was driving, like either a truck or a bus or a school bus or something by chance? So I just
No.
a flash of somebody driving a bus.
Okay, so you're getting another
Oh,
sort of butch.
my grandfather.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you
See,
go.
your grandparents are coming through.
Well,
They
yeah.
related to the
He
great.
wasn't my. I never got to meet him. He
Okay.
died long before I was ever born.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay. I see. Okay.
I just
But
heard
I
the
can-
stories of him being working for the T, the Boston Public Transportation.
I can, but you've been on camera the whole time, Gina, and I keep getting you, and I kept getting this person. And it feels like what I would call a lesbian elder to me, which would be a
Okay.
woman that would be kind of butch and older than me. And I'm in my 50s, and so she would have been quite older. I'm almost 50, so she would have been a bit older than me now. And she's saying that she just wants you to know that she's proud of you. There's nothing wrong with you, and to be 100% you, authentically you, 100%. And that's funny that you remembering that message, because that's what she wants me to tell you. She wanted
Yeah.
me to
She used to tell
remind
me
you
that
of
when I
that
was like
message.
6 or 7 years old.
Right. Right. So that's the message that has to come through for you. Okay. So I don't know what's going on in your life right now,
Okay.
but Gina, it sounds to me like this ancestor of yours is and that's why I couldn't quite understand why she was your aunt or your grandmother, because you treated her like your grandmother, but she was actually your great aunt. And so then that
Yeah.
totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. And because that kind of thing is weird to sometimes read. And then on top of that, she's also saying, like, she was queer, but the times weren't open for that. She had to live in an oppressive time. Okay.
I'm noticing that's like a theme tonight, that all of these are kind of suppressed and stuff. So maybe that's a lot of that's the message, is for those that it's okay to live freely in this day and age. It's okay.
Well,
Go for it. You got allies and stuff who are gonna back you no matter what.
Well, it
You
is
know,
pride, right?
there's somebody somewhere who will help you get through it. Guaranteed.
All right. So that was really special for you, Gina. I just want you to know that, okay?
Beautiful.
And I'm just gonna
Yeah.
focus in on people, because I can see. Does anyone else have anything they want to do?
Go
I
ahead.
don't want to own the stage
Not
or
at this
anything.
moment.
Okay, Lacey, I can
Yeah.
see. So Gina's aunt there is saying, so are you. Are you bisexual?
I'm a lesbian.
Oh, okay. Because she's like, that Lacey person right there is also. And I'm like, okay. Like, she's outing you to make, like, who cares, right? But, like, who really cares? But that's what she's doing. But they're doing it. So she has you also have an older lesbian ancestor like that. But I'm not sure you knew they were a lesbian.
Yeah,
Okay?
I don't really know a lot of my family. Like, I didn't really have a lot growing up. So,
Okay, so you can't even validate it for me, even if I told you.
no. But I do have someone that was close to me that passed, but they weren't family. But I don't know if
They
I
weren't your blood?
No.
Were they like your aunt, but were they like an auntie, like an older woman that sort of mothered you?
No, it wasn't like anybody related to me. So,
Okay. Okay. All right. No, but I'm going to just bring that spirit through real quick, because you need to know about them. They're 3 generations out, so that would probably be your great aunt or great grand, and I think it's on your father's side. So she's saying that you don't know her, but that she's at your back all the time. So you have lesbian spirit guides that are following you. And she was butch, and she was I guess in the South or something, because she's showing me like farm fields and like almost like it almost feels like cotton or something. Okay, like it could be tobacco, I suppose, but it's in the South, and it's very hot. And she's wearing something similar to what I'm wearing right now, which is overalls. Like I'm wearing Carhartt overalls, but but I'm
the same thing. The
but she's
overall.
kind of butch.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Yeah.
sure I'm sure they weren't Carhartts. But okay. But she wants you to know that you have a spirit guide that's a lesbian butch.
That would
Okay.
be because anybody that I do know that is part of the LGBT community is on my dad's side, so that would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
This other friends you have, did they take their own life?
It was my girlfriend, but it
Did she
was
overdose or something?
accidental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but sometimes I have to say, on the side of the spirit, on the spirit side, do you know drugs kill, Lacey? Yeah. Most of us know that drugs kill. And so when a person chooses to do something that could potentially kill them, that will probably kill them eventually, it's kind of seen as like passive suicide. Okay.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that she's punished or anything like that. It's none of those things. Okay. Like, so just take all that Christian bullshit and just toss it out along with the thing that you can't be gay. Okay. Just throw it all away. And let's go back to what's real, which is the realness of it is that so when a person takes their own life, usually the universe just hits the reset button. But before they do that, before the universe does that, they usually give them something to make it easier next time. Okay. Because they kind of have to do the same thing. So it's like hitting the reset button, but they usually get like an extra piece of strength or an extra tool or something like that. And she wants you to know that she's going to be reborn very fast, very quickly, very soon. Okay. She must have been pretty young. So because she's saying it was not her time. So that's why she has to come back so quickly. Okay. So that sometimes happens with people that good night, Kayla. It sometimes happens with people that have taken their own life. They're quickly reborn, and it makes sense, right? Because they get on the other side, they recognize that they shouldn't have done that. They recognize that that was not exactly what they should have done, and then, right? And then they come right back in, and the universe is like, no, hits the reset button. But the universe is kind and loving, doesn't want them to do that again. So we'll give them some sort of thing. Okay. To avoid drugs. Like maybe she'll come into this lifetime. Okay. She's saying, yes, I'm going to come into this lifetime hating drugs. Okay. So this will be a young person that will actually come in probably from your dad's side of the family, because your butch ancestors over there. She's like, yeah, like, okay. So sometimes when we fall in love with people, they're connected to us, like in our soul family. Most of the time that's true. They're in our soul family. Okay. And soul family is way bigger than blood and goes way further than blood. Okay. And your soul, you have a huge soul family. It's called the LGBTQ community. But anyway, she'll be reborn. And I feel like this child will come through and be like somebody's child, and you'll recognize her. Now you'll be much, much older now, and this child will hate drugs with a bloody passion for no apparent reason. Okay. So when you meet this child, that's how you'll remember this someday. You'll be like, she's showing me, you'll be like, she's laughing because you'll be old.
Yeah, so I'm sure she is laughing. That was just
she's like making a joke about it. Like, you'll be old and I'll be a kid.
Well, see, I babied her, so even though I called her my 29-year-old child, so
Okay, so that's why she's laughing about it. She's like, just thinks it's hilarious.
I will
And
still be
she's,
until I'm 99. Is what
yeah.
she.
And you'll be like this older woman, this older person, and then this little kid will be like expressing themselves like, I hate drugs or whatever, and you'll be like, what? Okay, and you'll remember this moment here and now. Okay, so I'm just letting you know she will be reborn, but you won't be able to have a relationship with her in this lifetime. It will have to be the next, after this one. Not because you're not part of the soul family, just because of timing, because she has to come back right away. Okay, and she'll be too young for you. Welcome, Stephanie. She'll be too young for you at that point. Okay, but you'll recognize her soul. You'll sense it inside, especially after that after the child starts to express why they hate drugs. Okay, and they could be like 10 years old, and you'll be like, okay, that's weird. That's weird. Oh my god, I remember Hollis saying this like 10 years ago. This is weird. Okay, I'm serious. You would not believe stuff like that comes back like that. Okay. Okay. So that's that. But she wants you to know that she's going to be reborn. It doesn't mean that her spirit, so an imprint of her spirit will be on the other side, the spirit of her that you knew. So you may sense she may come around occasionally. Doesn't mean you won't sense her, but she wants you to know that her soul is going to be right back. That seems to be more important than you knowing if she's with you for some reason. That's what she's saying, because you weren't greedy like that.
Yeah.
She's saying that you're a very loving, compassionate, kind person, and you want her soul to live on. You're worried about her soul because of what happened, because of the drugs. So that's why she wants you to know that. That's powerful. That's what you needed to know, Lacey. That's what you needed to know. Okay. Well, beautiful, strong lesbians. I love them. I love them. Mm-hmm. All right. Is anyone else, Jamie or Cheryl?
There's like a whole crowd. I do have like a two-spirit person. I don't believe they're native. They're more bush. They're more tribal, but way back, like very far back. They were able to freely live within their tribe and stuff. This is somebody's ancestor that's here, like way, way far back. Lots of feathers. Again, there's feathers like a headdress. Also, body feathers. Like you know how the Aztecs and stuff, the Native Americans have some what do they call it? Regalia. And they dance like the birds. They're dancing like the bird, like a bird, like a hawk, perhaps. Is it a hawk? Raven. It's a raven. And there's lots of ravens. I don't know if that's somebody's one of their spirit guides or something, but there's lots of ravens and they're just celebrating. They're just doing a dance. I can hear the drumming. I'm not sure exactly who. But just to know that the line is very long. This isn't just a new thing now. There's been two spirit souls and for throughout time. And like Hollis said, you're all connected. There's a beautiful spiritual cord that connects all of you. So I think that's kind of what this is. They're celebrating that, strengthening of that, the drumming, I don't have a drum. There's like, if you can just feel the drumming and stuff, it is somebody's ancestors here. It's actually like there's numerous ones just celebrating. They're totally celebrating. They're drumming, they're dancing, and totally free. Like the regalia, there's feathers, all different kinds of people with feathers and stuff. But they're just celebrating, and everyone's in a circle. They're all dancing in a circle.
It's
So,
Jackie. Would it be me?
Yeah, Jackie, it's probably your ancestors. Jackie, you want to unmute yourself?
yeah, please help me.
I don't know how to unmute myself and still see you guys.
That's
Okay. Can you hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes. Is that
Jackie,
your-
I think you're a two-spirit person anyway from a tribe. Is that true?
I'm married to a man. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But you know
But I've
two-spirit
always-
people in your tribe, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, in my family, and I've always felt like gender's not a binary.
Right.
You know, a continuum.
That's like the wings. That's exactly what I get. Like the wings and the representation of the feathers is the freedom. It's okay to be now, just to be free to fly. And they're celebrating, they're dancing, they're circling and dancing. Like, yeah, definitely like that. Where are you from? Is it where in the world are you?
Saskatchewan, Canada.
Canada. Okay. So it is a native bush, like, okay. But I do feel there's others joining in too, in their different ways. Like everyone's just dancing and joining the swirling. It's absolutely beautiful. So just if you're
Yeah.
open to receive, just
Yeah. That actually coincides with some other information that I got from ancestors just like less than a week ago.
beautiful. So they're just validating that for you.
So
They're behind you. They're actually lifting you. They're celebrating you. They're lifting you. They're supporting you. You're not alone in the journey. That's exactly the message I'm getting. And it's for everyone. Like when you get a reading from one, it's everyone. There's bits and pieces that we all need to hear, or if it feels close to your heart. Because I really get the feeling of like the uplifting and the connection with the ancestors, because so many ancestors have come through tonight. And they feel the connection. And by us doing our work, we're healing them, we're healing the lines. Yeah, I feel that's definitely what's happening. It's absolutely beautiful. And also you're healing the lines, but you're also establishing that connection, like Hollis was saying. It's strengthening it. So you have someone to be strengthened and nurtured and safe.
Jamie, Eve, did you have anything you wanted to share?
I'm picking up on someone I'm almost feels like they might still be alive, but that somebody's trying to communicate to them. Because what I'm picking up on I kind of perceive them as non-binary mask leaning person. They seem to be on testosterone, possibly newly on testosterone. I don't know if that resonates with anybody, but I just seem to be seeing this person, light colored hair, that's on test and has just started testosterone. And then, like I say, I'm not sure if it's somebody who has passed or if it's the intended recipient or someone who's supposed to receive a message. And that, but they it really feels like getting on the tee was a really crucial thing for them, and feeling like that was their first step on feeling more valid, and that I get the sense that there was a lot of struggle with identity and being seen for who they are. But the message that I'm getting is that living their truth for however long is better than not getting to live it at all. So I'm not sure if they were someone who has passed or someone who is needing that right now. I don't know if that resonates with anybody here as anybody they know.
It sounds like somebody I go to church with. She's needing the message
Okay.
because they just recently went on to hormones.
Well, hopefully you can carry that message to them, Gina, especially in a church. I imagine they really need that message.
The
Those aren't usually
Unitarian Universalist Church.
okay, but still, yeah, they probably still need that message.
And they do a lot for the LGBTQ community and everything.
Okay.
They are seen, they are valid, they are loved, and they're not being overlooked by those that where it
I
really
think that's
matters.
what the Ben Peeling is kind of overlooked lately, especially at work.
Their guides are there for them.
Okay, that's good. I will let them know.
Okay, thank you, Gina.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, Jamie?
Not at this particular moment.
Okay. Okay. Does someone here have someone that right in the side of the head? No. You know, that did something to themselves? Shot themselves? I'm just gonna say it. Somebody have someone here that shot themselves? Okay. Not sure what spirit that is. I'm just gonna let them pass on. Because to channel them in is exhausting. Go ahead, Stephanie. Do you have something?
No, I'm
Do you
just
have
saying, I don't know how he passed. I know that that drugs were involved, and I know something was the side of his face, but I don't know if that was from falling or if that was self-inflicted. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, definitely pain on the side of the face, like right here.
No, when I had a reading with Mary, she said that she can, feel like, what it is, but and something happened to the side of his face, whatever
But you
that
don't know
means.
how he passed. Like you don't have the
Not,
facts.
not really. No, I know. I don't know his family, and so I just know, or I thought, and Mary confirmed it that drugs were involved, and actually you confirmed it too before. But I don't know if there was something else. I don't know if there was something in addition to that, because something's supposed to spin also with the right side of his face, or with the right side. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. Sides can be, yeah. But the spirit that if I read for you before, I don't always remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember channeling. I just don't. If I did, my brain would probably explode.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
I remember your face. I know that I've read for you, but I don't remember the reading. So, but what I will say is that he, the energy that's around you, is a confirmation that he took his own passing. I think he wants you to know that he took his life. But it feels like he was lost. He was missing a lot of information. But I'm not sure it's the exact spirit that I was actually channeling through. But I will say that I can sense the spirit around you, and he's saying, well, she should know that I took my own life. Okay. I don't think he totally thought it through or whatever, and I don't think he was totally clear-headed in that thought process, but I don't know anyone that is really, even if they're not on drugs. Like, I mean, maybe if someone is led to suicide, I'm not sure they're clear-headed anyway, but
I have a question,
go
seriously,
for it.
because I've worked recently, I have a group of widows I've worked with who, some of them have, their loved one has passed by self-inflicted. When you mention, and that's a commonality, is that split second. I want to know, and I'm ex-Marine Corps, and I don't even remember the answer, and I don't know whether to Google it, but just to back that up, the validation is exactly how long it takes just to pull a trigger. It's milliseconds. It has to be. It has to be milliseconds. And all of us have made decisions in a millisecond that we regret. And unfortunately, sometimes when it's drugs, when it's a weapon, things like that, we don't think of those milliseconds. And by the time they do, it's already too late. They've crossed over. Like, and the spirits, like, that there's a lot that they're not going to hell. They're not suffering. They're at peace. They've won the battle, basically. It's not that they gave up or anything. It's just
over, and now they'll have to come back and
yeah,
do it again, but they'll
yeah.
be given some tools to get through it better next time.
But it's just like I'm really curious as what the millisecond is, but I know it's so finite of a moment, you know. And a lot of the common message is for them not to be judged on that finite of a moment, to try to remember them of the whole beautiful life that they lived. Like, how tragic would it be if we were judged on the stupid things that we did in those finite moments of our life, you know?
Right.
We've all done it. So.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody just do that. Sorry.
Okay. Bobby Wu, did someone take their life or overdose? You're muted.
No. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No,
right.
my son was an accident. But no, he didn't take his life. Somebody else did.
Is that a hairless cat?
Yeah.
Yes, Betty. Mhm. She usually likes to watch the videos.
Oh, thank you.
But your son wasn't queer or anything, right, Bobby?
No, I
like he wasn't out. He wasn't like an out queer or anything like that.
He loved everything and he was 19, he
I'm just
mm.
yeah, because the spirit that I'm sensing about you, he's saying, I wasn't really like an out queer or anything. That wasn't my journey this time. That's what he said.
He
I'm
had
not
to have
saying he was homophobe or anything.
Yeah. Oh no, he definitely not. No, nobody
He's
in this
actually saying he
family.
was an ally.
No, yeah, he was a big.
He's saying that he actually, he said that he actually took up for kids in school that were gay. Like he stood in front of them to keep them from being bullied.
Yeah.
This is your son.
Yeah.
And your son is also yeah, he's actually a really, really sweet soul. Really positive. He's an angel. He's almost an ascended soul. You know that?
I always felt that. I always,
He was
yeah,
here.
too good for either.
He was here to clear a piece of karma, and it sounds like he cleared it. It's all done now. Who took his life? It has to
A
do with
driver.
that. A driver.
He was,
A drunk driver. Yeah.
we don't know if the toxicology came back that there wasn't any alcohol in it. They said the kid had fallen asleep, but I don't know. I don't agree.
Yeah, but there was some sort of karmic contract between the two of them. They didn't know each other, but there was a karmic contract. Do you understand what I mean by that?
I tried
Something happened in a past life that your son owed a karmic debt and he paid it off this lifetime. But what that means is that he's earned his wings. Do you get it? So sometimes it takes us lifetimes and lifetimes to earn our wings, so-called earn our wings, okay? Could also be called an ascended soul, can be called an angel, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing in the end, okay? And so he's telling me that he's an ascended soul. Your son is an ascended soul. And he just had to clear this one bit of trauma, and it's unfortunate. But he'll be back because he has to come back and walk among us. He has some more good karma he has to do before he can be complete in his transition. But this happens sometimes, like in their last 2 or 3 lifetimes, an ascended soul will keep coming back and be like an angel among us. And I think partially it's because they miss being a human. And I think it's also because they have some good karma they need to bring through. And so that's what he's saying. He's like, I have some good karma I have to bring through. There's good things I have to do. And he did do some of them while he was here. And one of them was the protecting of the young people. And the reason that you've seen him as loving everything and all things is because he was sort of an angel at birth. And he just came like that. You didn't teach him like that. In fact, sometimes he would teach you to love when you didn't even know. Like you were like, how am I to love this person? But he would somehow teach you to love those people. And he wants you to love even the person that took his life. That's what he's asking you to right now. And I know that that's a hard ask because I'm a mama and I can't imagine that I would feel easily to love the person that fell asleep at the wheel, regardless of why or how, took my son's life. I can imagine that would be incredibly traumatic and impossible, almost impossible to forgive them.
Yeah.
But your son is saying to forgive him and that it was an old from 2 lifetimes ago. Okay. And in fact, you were involved in it. In fact, you were involved in it 2 lifetimes ago. And so you also are clearing a karmic debt with this person. And it's important for you to forgive and to let go and to accept so that you can ascend your soul. Your soul is trying to be ascended and that's going to hold you back. Okay. So he's saying you must forgive. You must forgive. Okay. You must forgive that person because that's a karmic contract or something. And it's in his astrology chart. Okay. It's in his astrology. Have you ever looked at his death chart?
No.
Okay. Well, of course you have. I mean, there's people that do death charts, but I'm the only person in the world that I know of that does birth and death charts. And I'll tell you about their life's destiny, why they died, and what that meant to you and to other people around them. It's a really powerful read, especially for murders and suicide. For murders and suicides, it's like it changes the story.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you know the birthday of the young man that fell asleep at the wheel, you could bring that into, and I bet you they have signs in the chart that shows their karmic debt to each other.
Wow.
I can almost guarantee it.
Wow.
Because he's showing me the nodes, which are pinpoints on an astrology chart about your destiny and your past lives. And he's showing me Pluto and he's showing me Saturn. So I'm just telling you, that would be a powerful read for you. So maybe we can get to see each other, Bobby, or you can try to do it on your own if you know anything about astrology, but just the death chart of him, super powerful.
Mm.
And I just think you just need to change the story in your head about what happened.
Yeah.
Change the
Yeah.
perspective so that you can change, so that you can move on. Okay.
Yeah.
That way
Thank
you can get
you.
better, Bobby. You're welcome. You're welcome. I
Feel
just
better.
see that heart in you is missing your son. And I just want you to know that life is much bigger than this lifetime. It is much bigger. Just like when we look at the universe, we feel like a little grain of sand, right? When you look up at the
Yep.
stars, if you don't feel like a grain of sand, something's
Yeah.
wrong. Okay. So
Yeah.
in on your ego there.
No.
But when you stare up at the stars, we feel like a grain of sand. And you have to
Yeah.
understand that your life is like a grain of sand.
Yeah.
There's so many lifetimes before and after. Okay. Humans are not going to wipe themselves off the planet as much as they would like to implant that fear. Okay.
Yeah.
We might screw up the planet and then have to fix it. That might happen, but
Yeah.
we'll probably won't wipe ourselves out. Okay.
Thank
We're
you.
dumb, but not that dumb.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Your son is with you in case you didn't
Hugs.
figure that out.
Yes, very much
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Does anyone else have anything?
Yeah.
I seem to be picking up on a female, or at least a person with a uterus who's pregnant. I think a person that passed while pregnant, possibly, but it's possible that there's also someone that they're connected to who's currently pregnant. I don't know. But I get the feeling that the person who was pregnant and passed may have been a lesbian. I'm not sure if they used surrogacy or how the conception happened, but I get the sense that that they were happy about anticipating their child. I almost feel like it was a car type of situation that transcended them over. Does that resonate with anyone?
Okay. It's okay.
I don't know. I think that what I'm getting of the person is really more or less a sense that the life that there's someone now that's expecting and we will be and that one will be able to come through, and you may see some reflections of the expectant mother that we had that had passed when you see the child as they grow up.
Does anyone know any pregnant people or want to be pregnant people or soon to be pregnant people?
My daughter-in-law and son are expecting.
Oh, are they? Okay.
Oh, ouch.
But I don't know anybody I can't that fits that. I can't. I've been trying. I don't.
Okay. It's okay.
But they're a powerhouse. Whatever they're expecting is definitely a powerhouse.
Mojo out. Come on, out.
Madhvi. Madhvi. I sense a spirit around you that clearly it's a it feels so you have a couple of spirits around you that are trying to communicate
Oh,
with
sorry,
me
is
at
that for me?
once. Yeah, Madhvi.
Uh-huh.
You have a couple of ancestors that are trying to communicate with me at once.
Okay, thank you.
One of them, so I don't know if you know your ancestors back in India, but one of them is definitely I know that trying to remember the word. Hijra? Am I saying that right? And you know what I mean by
That's
that?
right. I am in India.
You are in
And
India.
I think you're referring to the word transgender.
Yeah. A transgender
Okay.
Indian person. A
Uh-huh.
Hijra. This
That's right.
person.
But I can't recall anyone in my ancestors who's a transgender.
This person says that I'm going to use she pronouns, that she was well, she's lower class, right? So that she was shunned. Says 3 generations back. Okay. So but she just wants you to know. But you know, in India, unfortunately, sometimes, especially back then, and I hope it's getting better, but the ancestors, the older transgender people were often categorized as lower class, and sometimes not treated very well. Sometimes they usually ended up being prostitutes and such because they had to survive somehow. So I'm not. It's not a bad reflection on your culture. It's just all of our cultures are freaking broken. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that. Obviously that's you don't. I feel like she's saying that you don't know her, so that's the interesting part of that. But she still wanted me to announce her. There's also a masculine person on your side.
It could be my dad, it could be my
I
granddad.
was about to say your
father.
father. I was about to say your father. Can you turn your camera back on? So I like have a face. I don't know why.
Sure, I would have
So
loved to.
silly.
It's just that I can't hear you too well, so I've had to move my phone closer to my ear. Yeah.
You can't hear me. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be looking at your earlobe. Okay. Okay.
I've had to turn back my camera off just so that I could hear you better.
That's weird. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's your father. And in fact, the ancestors on your father's side. So it goes back 3 generations. And she was shunned. She was shunned because, well, she was born with male body parts and she was wearing a dress. So no one talks about her. But you should know that she was there. She wants you to know there, and your father is validating it.
Okay.
Your father is saying that it's not right what the culture did. He's apologizing for the culture. Okay.
Sure.
Your family feels more classism in India. I fail to know all the language, but it's a little bit higher class. Especially in relation to your father. Is that true?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. So your family is mostly like sort of higher class, including your father. And in fact, the weird thing is that most of the sort of lower class individuals in your ancestral realm are around you, and they are protecting you for some reason, interestingly. And one of them is transgender, and the other one is a spiritual, like yogi or something, hung out in the temple. They're showing themselves sitting with a bowl in front of them, and they would have also been considered lower class because they chose not to do what their parents did. I believe this would be your dad's uncle. Yeah, that sounds right.
My dad wasn't very spiritual though, but okay.
Okay, I'm not talking about your dad. I said a person that was related to your father that has also been shunned from your family ancestors.
Okay.
Because you have because your father's side of the family is high class, they shun certain people in the community.
Okay.
Okay. And those are the spirits that are coming through right now. I know that may not be who you wanted, but your father is like, I'm not sure she wants to hear this. But but he knows that the classism within the culture is inappropriate now because he's passed. Because now he's on the other side, if that makes sense. So now he's on the other side and he's enlightened, right? So he has some clue that that's not right, to separate people because they're spiritual, because, you know, the yogi type, that's what I want to call him, because he keeps showing me himself sitting on the ground with very little clothing, with just like a wrap around his waist, and it feels like a bowl or something in front of him, but he's praying and he's at a temple. And he's saying that he's your dad's uncle. So these people are been shunned from your family because you are of the high class communities family. And people don't talk about them because they're ashamed of them. You get that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason that they're coming through right now is because you are in a reading that was intended for people that have been shunned. Are you aware of that? Because your dad's saying that you didn't know. Is that true?
That's true, yes.
You didn't know you were coming to a GLBTQ
I didn't know.
reading. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. So your father, it's okay. I have strong connections to the Indian culture, very strong connections. I don't know why. Maybe I do have some idea why. I'm pretty sure I was a yogi in a past life. So, and I'm pretty sure I may have even been a Buddhist monk of some sort that may have had to retreat to India for safekeeping. Anyway, so I think I have a connection to India for some reason, but I clearly know what I'm seeing, and your father is very clear. He's saying these are your shunned ancestors. You should be proud of them and love them, even though he knows you publicly cannot.
I'm very supportive of the LGBTQ community. I stand for them. So I'm proud. I'm really proud. So there's nothing to hide, or there's no way I'd shun them or be ashamed of them. Not at all.
I know, but your family was high class. Is that what your father and grandfather?
Yes.
So
I think so, yes.
Yeah, he's making a reference to that. He's saying that they shunned. He's not saying that you did. I'm just saying that I know it's a weird thing right now in India, just like it's a weird thing here in the United States. Like some people are in support. But it's funny. So he just wants you to know that she exists, that you have an ancestor, a spirit guide. Are you doing spiritual spiritual exploration of your spirit guides? Yeah, I can't see if you're shaking your head or whatever, by the way. I can only hear you.
I'm saying yes, I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. Because I can barely hear. Okay. So if that's what you're doing, that might be why he's also telling you so that you know that you have these two guides, that
Okay.
one like I said, you know, she was Hijra. Is that the right word? Am I saying that word right?
That is, yeah, you're pronouncing it absolutely correct.
Okay. I'm proud of myself. I also
You
cook
should be.
authentic Indian food. I have like Indian friends that are like, oh, this is like I went back to India. Well done. Okay, because I make
You have
really
all
good
the
Indian
reasons to be
food.
proud, yeah.
I have all the connections to India, and I'm a yogi. And so then you also have another ancestor that is a yogi, very, very spiritual, and he's your spirit guide.
Okay.
But he was shunned because he didn't want to do all the things you're supposed to do in a high class family, like go to college and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
You get what I'm
Not
saying?
sure if that's the ancestor that I know of, because um, I've not been very close to my father's side. I've always lived with my mother's side of the family. So they are the ones I was expecting. But nevertheless, happy to hear from whoever came through.
Yeah, it's your father. And I don't know why he wants you to know, but he wants you to know it. Like he's saying that you should know that you have these ancestors that were otherwise shunned. You know, probably a
So
generation or
thank
two
you.
ago. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. With just 8 minutes left. Does anyone else have anything, Jamie or Cheryl?
Let me double check. Right, I'm pretty good.
I'm not getting any specifics. I've got right now. I'm kind of feeling a little crowd of people.
Yeah, there is quite a few.
Nobody standing out definitively.
Okay.
There is somebody in a that I am that starting to come through a bit more in a fuchsia dress. I mean, it's like a very bright fuchsia magenta, and that where it's that pink purple crossover zone. And I feel like it was the person's favorite dress. I don't know if that resonates with anybody.
Fuchsia, huh? That's like hot pink.
Mm-hmm. Bold. Very bold.
But I feel like I get the sense it might have been a prom type of dress or some sort of event that was, more formal. Don't know if that resonates with anybody or.
Okay. Maybe they just want to show off that dress.
Sounds like a drag queen to me.
Yeah, exactly. We're at a pride event. They're just showing off that dress, plotting it. So let them have a little runway run real quick. Let everybody. I don't know if that's appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gina, you're raising your hand. What's up?
Would it be an older lady?
It quite possibly is.
You're so welcome,
Okay.
Steph.
Wasn't picking up on the person's features as much as the dress. It was, like I say, a very,
She loved bright colors.
Okay.
And she was older
Mhm.
and loved parties.
Was she a relative to you?
Well, I called her like my second mom because she knew me before I was born. And I spent a lot of time at her house.
I get the sense that she wants you to know that living life boldly and enjoying the trip is really important was important to her, and that not just existing but actually living and loving it. And so I feel like that's the message that you need to know. is to live your life with joy and love.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Gina. Big love to you. Well, I hope everyone has gotten a little taste of things. It's easier when people are on camera for sure.
Yes.
I don't know why. I think it's because I like sense the aura around them or something.
It's much easier.
Mhm.
Oh, oh, sure.
Thank you,
Now you're
everybody.
sorry.
Now they turn their cameras on, right?
You
Oh my
stubborn.
Sorry, dog, I'm cooking.
You're cooking, Crystal?
Ooh, what are
Yeah,
you
I'm doing with a
making?
dog. Just sausages, any protein.
Okay.
Mm, I can't have
Yes.
sauce.
Yeah. Okay. You don't need it.
Nope.
Yeah. So, I want to say that I think I'm pretty done for the night. And
Yeah,
I
me
think,
too.
Jamie, are you finished for the night?
I'm not picking up anything specific. I would love to read Crystal, but I, being their spouse, would not be able to say for sure that it was 100% not something I was picking up from being
Right.
that.
If everybody's
It's
that
okay.
done in, I can wait.
Well, it's the end. We only have like 2 minutes left, and I need to eat and have some dinner.
Yeah, I
too.
need to replenish. It's hot.
It's 6 o'clock here, but
It's
I've
8
definitely
here.
had a full plate. I've had a full plate for days now, and
Can I ask a
I've been-
question?
Go for it,
Going
Gina.
back to
Ask
something
away.
that was said earlier
Mhm,
about the person who passed possibly from drugs
mhm.
and the side of their face. When they one of my cousins, when he passed from drugs, and we had a closed casket,
Why?
and I never understood why.
You don't know why? You don't know if he shot himself or
No,
something?
no, because he was at his dad's house, supposed to be taking care of his dad's dog when he did drugs, and he hadn't done drugs in like 6 years, and then he just passed.
I don't know. Maybe that
But
had
when
more
you
to just
brought
do
it
with the
up, it made
family.
me feel like he was trying to sort of come through or say something, but I didn't know, and I didn't want to interrupt somebody else possibly getting a
Don't
reading.
ever worry. Don't ever worry about that because they piggyback on each other, and I can always zoom into your spirit and make determinations about who's who. I
Okay,
mean, if you
because I
really
didn't
need to
really
talk to
know
somebody.
my cousin. I met him like 3 times in my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should never not in these gallery readings. You should always raise your hand, even if the reading ended up being for someone else, because they do what we call piggybacking, and so it's just when they have things that resonate with each other, they tend to come through together. That's
Okay.
all. And so it feels
I wasn't
like
sure if he was done giving a message or anything.
so he's saying that he didn't shoot himself or anything, but he did overdose on drugs. Not intentionally. I feel like he just overdid it.
Right.
Yeah, that's all
We
he's saying.
all think
He
it
just said
wasn't
he overdid it.
intentional.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. He's just saying that he didn't overdo it. His biggest message is he's protecting all the people in your family that might be around drugs.
Okay.
Thank you.
He's trying to
That's good. He's protecting his brother.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you.
He's trying to watch over them. He can't stop free will, but he sure as hell will try. That's the thing about spirits is they'll usually try to protect. Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely glad he's protecting his brother.
Mm-hmm. That's sort of why evil spirits are kind of silly when you know.
That's why his brother moved out of state, was to get away from things.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's just what he had to do. I feel like that was what he had to do.
Thank you.
Okay, Gina. All right,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. All right, my friends. 6
Have a
o'clock.
great night.
We've been at this for 2 hours.
Thank
Bye,
you, everyone. Thank you.
Please remember those that have been oppressed, suppressed, disowned, or shunned. Please remember them. Please remember all the two-spirits that have ever been murdered for being two-spirit. Please remember all the Mahu in Hawaii that were murdered for being two-spirit. Please remember all the drag queens that have murdered behind a gay bar. Please remember all the queer people that have taken their own life because they felt like they didn't belong here on this earth. Remember that you're always loved and appreciated. And if you're alive, you're meant to be here. I promise. I've never met a suicide person that was happy they committed suicide, ever. Never met a spirit on the other side that said they were happy about it. They all regret it. Okay? Pass that on to your friends that might be thinking about suicide. Please forever hold in your heart peace and love, and remember that the spirits on the other side are nothing more than peace and love now. They're just love. They're just full of love, and they're just trying to give you love and trying to spread love around you. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.